So I think Hidden Variable and Autumn did something that I've only really seen NRS do, which is take a fighting game that has a fandom and apply it to a new medium, in this case, a mobile game, in a way that is still truthful to what that fandom expects from a combat experience and a storyline experience, and then kind of surpasses that expectation. I think Skullgirls Mobile is probably the finest fighting game on mobile that is trying to capture not just what it is to play a fighting game, but also what is expected from a mobile game.
It's a wonderful take on mobile fighting games. Not that I've played a bunch of them, but it really captures the sort of Skullgirls essence of like the cool characters and combos, but combining the aspects of what you might expect out of a mobile game. It seems like it was always kind of just like bubbling under the surface and almost like a totally separate community that if you weren't paying attention, it would just be ignored.
I have had multiple just random, you get the notification of a new YouTube comment and it says, I came from Skullgirls Mobile. I didn't know this game existed. It's sick. And you're just like, wow, the mobile game's actually like its own entity, right? There's people who only play that. They didn't even know there was like a console/PC fighting game that stemmed from.
I didn't realize how big the mobile community was until the very first time I commentated a Skullgirls Mobile event, kind of. Like I was commentating for some event with Skullgirls, and we were giving out mobile codes, and I think the chat jumped up like another 400, 500 viewers just from saying we're giving out a mobile code. It is incredibly, incredibly big inside of Central and South America. It's kind of ridiculous, to be very honest with you.
Huge fan base for the mobile game in particular in South America. And the benefit of it being the same frames, the same ecosystem, the same feeling, is that a lot of those people show up for Skullgirls console events. And it's just a bunch of people who feel passionately about Skullgirls showing up for a fun Skullgirls event. That's sick. That's awesome when you can do that. And that's what it feels like when you have a whole contingent, a whole sort of sub-community in this community show up to something like an online event. Just a bunch of South American Skullgirls fans show up, and it helps the energy so much. I love seeing that.
A great example of this is we had Skullgirls Mobile on site at CB. They were giving away cards and special trinkets and kind of early access. And people came to CB to go to that table. Plenty of people come for the tournaments and the presentation scale and Gekio's popcorn, but they don't necessarily show up and go, I came here specifically to visit this table. Oh, the rest of this I guess is cool too. And I think that's an incredible thing that Skullgirls has that even some of its bigger peers in market do not.
Little did we know it was funding this whole operation to keep it afloat and now to help provide us with brand new content for the console game.
The Skullgirls mobile game is almost 100% responsible for the revival of Skullgirls Second Encore, because the DLC sales and specifically the microtransactions inside of Skullgirls Mobile, the CEO had stated inside of a video interview done with Kai Kennedy that if the mobile game was successful, the fighting game would also become more successful and get DLC. And then it happened, and everybody was like, wow.
Now we're at the latest iteration of the game with Autumn and Hidden Variable and the new Future Club continuing to push it forward in a capacity where I really don't think this game has an end point.
All in a day's work.